Welcome back. So, just a quick update. I just wanted to point out because I did this type of start, this isn't the only way you can do, but if you've been following along with my playthrough here, you saw that I purchased a building in this way station that's out here in kind of at the edge of the Great Desert. I forget. This is the Skim Sands, I think, and whatever. But we're in this location. We're near Black Desert and the Deadlands, which I picked this location partially because I knew there was a lot of treasure here. So, we're in the location we're at, there's kind of a lot of nearby treasure. So that was kind of the reason I chose that location. Now, um, in hindsight, I had an outpost here before, but it was like later game, so I don't think it really mattered to me as much. But I will say there is a better location to do this kind of start, in my opinion. The other one that I know of that I highly recommend if you want to is Mongrel, which we kind of did for a little bit. Normally, there's a Y house there, and it's for 14,000 cats, and I'll buy that one and use that as my base of operations. The only downside to Mongrel is that it's over on the western side of the map, so it just takes longer anytime you're trying to get over here or go south, southeast. It's just farther from stuff. So that's why I kind of liked here because it's better resource availability wise to me, like as far as treasure and stuff, than the hub in my opinion. But it's kind of central also, like the hub. It's a little east, but it's kind of central. It's easier to get north and south from here and all that stuff. So that's kind of why I chose it. Now, in hindsight, these watchtowers are awesome and they're really great to have in your base for um, like putting harpoon turrets that gives you an excellent height advantage. You can really devastate enemies when they attack if you have watchtowers. When it comes to building stuff inside of watchtowers, they're kind of finicky and a pain in the neck. I'll be honest. And the space, it has a good amount of space, but it's not. It's a little bit wonky. So that's really my two constraints right now in this location is space and resource availability. So the other problem here, and why Mongrel is great, Mongrel has a lot of stores. So if you built in another city, I'm not saying Mongrel's the perfect one. It's just the one I've used before and it worked out really well. I think, I'm sure some of the other cities would work out well too, but they have more stores. I'm kind of constrained right now. I have Strike making some armor. I'm constrained by how much fabric this guy has in stock every day, which isn't much of anything. He has like a couple pieces maybe, and I need fabric and able to keep making armor, which I was trying to get all my characters some armor. But this is sort of where the two constraints I have is space to build more things, like a weaponsmith I don't even have yet, and I also don't have like any way of making food. That's the other problem you'll run into in a building in a town until you have hydroponics. But even then, you're going to start running out of space potentially. So that's my problem right now. Now, the pros to this is I was able to do a bunch of research. We're able to get our armor smithing up, and we're able to make some armor for some of our characters. And then, but the cons is really the resources. We don't have resources available to us, and also power. Power was kind of a problem in this one. I had to put a bunch of small wind generators up here, and it's not a bad thing. It's just I had to put enough up here, so I have more than enough power now, but I had to build enough power. Mongrel, I can tell you, there's no issue with power. I've never even had to add my own power. I had plenty of power to do everything I wanted, just available in the town. So like you have access to whatever surplus power the town has or is generating. So if there isn't a surplus, you've got to generate some power of your own. So that's where I'm at here. I don't even care what those guys are probably fighting blood raiders. Looks like it's like whatever, they're doing good. Now this is another thing. She got hurt, so I don't want her to finish making a piece of armor after she's been hurt. But I'll deal with that later. Um, so that's just really it. That's just a quick update on where I'm at. Like the constraints are resource availability and space, and so I need to start thinking about building a base. Now, when I go build a base, now I need to start planning on where do I want to settle. Now that's a whole nother topic I won't even get into here. I know a place I like to go, but I might try something different because I just want to change things up, and try a different place maybe. We'll see, because the place I usually settle is one of my favorite parts of the map and most fun to. Some of my favorite enemies to fight and be friends with and all that stuff is in that part of the map. But we'll see. Maybe we'll build an outpost there later and try a different place early on and see how it goes. So, but I need to plan that out. So now I have a lot of planning to do. I've nerded out where I'll make even like a spreadsheet to figure out how many materials I need, because the things I need to think about is like, what do I need to build first? I'm going to need access to iron and stone so I can manufacture building materials. I have to have the equipment with me to make the machines to make those things. I need to make sure I account for power. Like, how am I going to get power? Or am I going to build the low level stuff that doesn't require power first and then make power later? I need to have, I want to have at least a building so people can, we can build beds and things like that. So I'm going to need to get something started. And depending on what I want to build, early and quickly will depend on how much material I need to collect. I might have to go visit the Kenshi equivalent of the Home Depots and get a bunch of building material and iron plates and electronic components, or go kill a bunch of iron spiders and steal their electronic components or something, because I'm going to need power, and most of that stuff requires electronic components. I do have the tech to make electronics, but I'll need to mine copper for it, have a building to put the bench in, and all that stuff before I can make them, and then I'll have to make them, and it'll take longer. So I kind of want to have a bunch of materials before I go do it. So that's just kind of my strategy. You could start out really simple with just a stone mine and a building material processor and an iron processor, which, by the way, even after you have the high level tech, I'll point that out, like an Iron Refinery 3. I'm up to this one. It requires 30 power, so I've got to have the power to run it. And it requires 35 iron plates. Whereas I could make the first iron refinery you make at my base. I just would need to carry 6 iron plates out to where my base location is, and then and it doesn't require any power, but it's also going to take longer to make the iron plates, and it's going to require 3 people to run it at 75% efficiency. So those are just some things to think about. So you could do it, and maybe it's faster to just build a lower level thing, get enough stuff, get it manufactured, and then build a better one, and then or upgrade. There's some of the things you can upgrade, other things you can't. You just have to build it and then use it and build a better one. But it's just a lot of planning. But really, the point of this video is just to point out, if you were following along with my playthrough and saw me build in this base, this is the problem you'll run into. It's going to be resource availability if you want to make more stuff or craft more things, or grow your own food, and the space. I only have so much space I can build in. It's like living in the city. I can't keep building. I'm out of space to build. I could tear this armor smithy down. Now I kind of have the armor I want for my characters made from it, and maybe put a weaponsmith here and then do that for a while. But I don't. I'm not going to do that. I'll just make weapons later. I don't care. We found decent weapons throughout, or stole decent weapons. So weapon manufacturing, I'm not really too concerned about. I honestly prioritize armor smithing way over weapon smithing, because it seems like you find a lot of weapons. You'll want to make your own weapons later, but I prioritize armor smithing over that, because it seems like you don't find nearly as much armor, and you can make the armor for all your characters. You seem to find a good amount of weapons if you just go out exploring, or stealing from other enemies and things of that nature. So, anyways, that's it. Just a quick update on where I'm at, where I kind of ran into constraints, and why I would want to move on to an outpost soon. But it's going to require quite a bit of planning, and I got to choose where I'm going to build a base and have the materials for it, all that stuff. So that's it. And thanks for watching.